it's a sad truth. It's a sad reality of this is where the future is heading. And if you bought anything digital, it's never promised 110%. Okay. A lot of these things you don't even realize you signed waivers over for this stuff. When you go down and say I accept, and you hit that I accept button with your controller or whatever on the internet, your computer, whatever, in case something happens, something goes bad, they can take this stuff from you and there's nothing you can do about it, even if you paid for it. Okay. That's why digital games are just, it's a plus and minus to this. But there's a lot of people like me who are into conservation when it comes to games in general. Okay. But the games are getting so big, the sizes are getting so much out of hand, that the only way these companies know how to delve out these games now is digitally, because it's too much money to try to give it to you physically. But there's people like me and other people who still are into collecting and preserving a lot of these older games, because you don't have to worry about that with these older games. And even like the Nintendo Switch, you don't have to necessarily worry about those type of things, right? You pretty much get your games on that cartridge, and there may be an update here or there for a game or two, and the game update size is very small, very tiny, so you don't have to worry about that shit. But the new stuff, guys, you just do. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's just the way it's the way of the world now, you know? So a lot of people need to understand that this is where it's headed, and it's scary because you might have your game for 2 years and then after that you just don't. All right. So there's a lot of people who are trying to conserve this, and there may be future fail safes in place to kind of help navigate people through this. And maybe, hey, you can go to this site, you can go here, whatever, and download these games if you have a membership or whatever. But my question is, what's going to happen when like the Xbox or PlayStation or even Nintendo, their servers finally go down? What happens to those games? All those games that you paid for, they just become vaporware? Most likely that's what's going to happen. Or is there going to be some sort of backup server where you can go and download all these things? Who knows? And that's where piracy comes into play, because people are pirating games for this simple fact as well. It's almost like you're going to have to pirate your own games to keep them, in essence. And that's what some people are saying they're going to do, because they don't get to keep what they pay for. They believe that if I paid this money for this, I should be able to keep it, period, right? And that's just not the way it is. So there's a lot to be said about what's going on with Sony, and I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, not just with Sony, but with other companies in general, moving forward with the digital age that we're approaching. And I don't think anyone can really stop it. I think it's just something that is going to have to be accepted. There's some who will buck the system, like me and a lot of other people, and will still try to collect as much as they can, some of their favorite games of old, and conserve their games. And I'm that kind of guy as well. If I really love a game, I'm going to try my best to conserve it if I can, and get it physical if I can. If I'm really lucky, hey, maybe it'll be all on the same fucking disc, right? It is what it is. It's a sad reality of gaming, and I think we're going to have to at least acknowledge it, because there's some people who still don't want to acknowledge it, but it is what it is. It's here.